Have you ever noticed how some countries drive on the left side of the road, while others drive on the right? It's a strange phenomenon that can leave you feeling disoriented and confused, especially when traveling to a new country. But have you ever wondered why this is the case? Why do some countries follow one driving tradition while others follow another? It's a curious phenomenon that has puzzled people for centuries. Believe it or not, the origin of driving on the left side of the road dates back to ancient times. In fact, the practice of driving on the left dates back to ancient Rome, where charioteers would drive on the left side of the road in order to give their right arms more room to maneuver. This practice spread to other parts of Europe, and by the time motor vehicles were introduced in the 19th century, many countries had already established a tradition of driving on the left. During the Middle Ages, most people were right-handed, and so they would sit on the left side of a horse-drawn carriage in order to keep their right hand free to use a weapon if necessary. This meant that they would drive on the left side of the road, so that they could see and fend off potential attackers with their right hand. Over time, this practice became commonplace throughout Europe, but it wasn't until the 18th century that it became a formal rule of the road. In 1756, King George II of Great Britain declared that all traffic should keep to the left side of the road. This was done to prevent collisions and to make it easier for military troops to travel in formation. Today, many countries that were once British colonies still drive on the left side of the road, including Australia, New Zealand, India, and South Africa. But why do some non-British countries also drive on the left side of the road? Well, it turns out that there are a few different reasons. One reason is that left side driving became popular in areas where stagecoaches were common. In the early days of the United States, for example, many stagecoach drivers would sit on the right side of the coach so that they could use their whip more easily with their right hand. This meant that they would drive on the left side of the road, just like in Europe. Eventually, however, most American states switched to right side driving, as it was more practical for the newfangled automobiles that were becoming increasingly popular. But a few states, such as Hawaii and the U.S. Virgin Islands, still drive on the left side of the road. Another reason why some countries drive on the left side of the road has to do with samurai warriors in Japan. In the 16th century, samurai would wear their swords on their left side, so that they could draw them more quickly with their right hand. This meant that they would walk on the left side of the road, so that they could pass potential enemies without their swords crossing. Over time, this tradition was adopted by the general population, and left side driving became the norm in Japan. Today, Japan is one of the few non-British countries that still drives on the left side of the road. Other countries that drive on the left side include Thailand, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka, among others. But why does it matter which side of the road you drive on? Well, it all comes down to safety. When everyone is driving on the same side of the road, it's easier to predict where other drivers will be, which can lead to fewer accidents and smoother traffic flow. Over time, the practice of driving on the left side of the road became standardized in many countries, while others opted for the right side. So, if we now know why some countries drive on the left side of the road, why do some countries drive on the right? That's a tough question to answer, but some of it can be traced back to historical factors such as the popularity of British rule during the colonial period. But one thing is for sure, and that is that countries wouldn't switch to driving on the right side from now on. The fact that many Indian vehicles and vehicles from other countries are designed with right-hand drive, making it more practical to drive on the left side of the road. Despite the safety benefits of standardized traffic flow, switching from driving on one side of the road to the other can be difficult and dangerous, particularly in countries with large numbers of vehicles and complex road networks. This is why countries that currently drive on the left side of the road are unlikely to switch to the right side anytime soon, and vice versa. If you enjoyed learning about the history of driving traditions, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more interesting content. And if you're curious about why you can drive as fast as you want on the German Autobahn, be sure to check out that video. Thanks for watching.